Having a hard from lies that Chelsea Handler told me by Chelsea's family, friends, and other victims. Chapter 2, Pap smears and punctuation marks. Stephanie Stelling. The first lie Chelsea told me on the day we met was on the day we met. She was a new hire at the franchise wannabe Italian restaurant where I worked, and we immediately bonded over our ridiculously large families where every sperm was sacred and everyone shared a contempt for all things ignorant. Naturally, it wasn't long before we got into personal matters. So, I'm about to be homeless, she casually mentioned while on a smoke break. My fucking aunt and uncle are kicking me out. That's terrible, I replied. Whatever. It's not like I want to live with all those kids and farm animals anyway. Chelsea always had a remarkable ability to look onward and upward without concern. You live on a farm? I asked. It's worse. At least a farm has the decency to have stables. Those disasters keep the pigs in the house. There are so many children and so many animals, you don't know who is who. You can stay with me, I blurted out. I just met her, so I didn't think she'd accept. Kind of like when you ask how someone's day went. You assume they'll say fine, not tell you they've got a yeast infection. That would be great, thank you, she quickly responded. Later that night, as Chelsea entered my apartment, carrying 2 plastic bags filled with clothes, I wondered how I was going to tell my roommates there'd be another box of tampons in the bathroom. How long do you think you'll be staying? I asked. I mean, it's not fancy, but you're welcome as long as you want. Couple weeks maximum, she replied, taking in the room's appointments, which were, as I'd said, not fancy. We lived together for almost 2 years. One night we headed out to a club where Chelsea pretended to be Pamela Anderson to get out of waiting in one of those cattle call lines where the biggest boobs, celebrities, and attitudes were allowed instant access and the rest of the suckers like me were left pining. Even though the doorman was adamant that she wasn't Pamela Anderson, Chelsea was even more adamant that she was, and so through the velvet rope she went. I expected to be left with the rejects when I couldn't pull off Helen Hunt per Chelsea's mandate, but always a loyal friend, Pamela, demanded that I and my sensible blazer's front chain Payless shoes, which she had earlier condemned as day wear, be allowed inside with her. This was the first time I'd seen her in action, and I was immediately impressed. I watched as she knowingly smiled at her minion from her VIP table. Someday I'm going to be pretty successful, she informed me, and I'm probably going to make a lot of money. Her 19-year-old confidence was infectious. Of course you're going to be rich and famous. You think you already are, I replied. Much as I love being entertained by Chelsea's harmless shenanigans, I was a rookie when it came to their execution. Once, she hooked up with some guy at our weekly Santa Monica stomping ground and ditched him shortly before the sun rose. Our practice was, if you met them in the bar, you left them in your dust, never to be seen or heard from again, unless they frequented our place of employment, which this sad sack had the misfortune of doing. Fuck, Chelsea grunted as she used her finger to stir some poor customer's iced tea one day. What? I asked, while stealing bites of some other poor customer's pasta. We were standing near the wait station. That's what's his name. Oh, they have at the outdoor apartment, she said, fingers stirring another iced tea as we surreptitiously watched a not too unattractive guy take a seat in my section. As she passed among the tables, head low, on a mission not to be noticed, the guy grabbed her arm. Hey, he said, smiling, I thought you were going to call me. What are you talking about? She countered. Chelsea, it's me, Bobby, from last weekend. Oh, I'm not Chelsea, she responded, her deadpan already perfect. I'm her twin sister. Kelsey. Oh, Chelsea's such a slut. She walked off to deliver the iced tea the customers regarded as the best they'd ever tasted. Then returned to me. If you ask, I'm Chelsea's twin Kelsey. The only problem in this situation was that I was not a very good liar. What am I supposed to say? I asked. Nothing unless he asks, in which case you say I'm Kelsey. But your name isn't Kelsey, I pointed out. It is today. It's not that complicated, Stefani. The whole Chelsea/Kelsey thing was beyond stupid, but she was so committed to it, I started to believe she was Kelsey. I'd seen her pull the same line on several other occasions when she ran into people she had no interest in connecting with again. Be it an old neighbor at the grocery store, a customer from work, or someone she had accidentally fornicated with. One would have thought people would catch on to this, but as Chelsea explains it so well, no one would ever believe anyone was that psychotic. Just fucking do it, she ordered me in the restaurant that day. Okay, I quickly responded, wanting to get this right. Chelsea was the kind of friend who always had your back, so you wanted to be able to do the same. Knowing she was watching and expecting me not to fuck up something so simple, I casually strolled over to Bobby and offered him something to drink, perhaps a Pellegrino. That girl over there, what's her name? I looked around, past Chelsea, and back to the guy. Who? Her? The one right there? I don't see any audience. So that was a Pellegrino, right? But, I thought this one started with letters between... when she says... when she tells Ted that she sends a staff email saying that the fucking gynecologist is giving free pap smears in the E Entertainment building. And Ted gets really upset, and then we talk about the Israeli consulate. What the fuck? This is unusual. I wonder if Chelsea saw the alternate version of her most recent book. She sounded like a fucking mental health patient. And very depressing. But then I found the real version in Barnes & Noble. The false version was at Target. And it freaked me out and made me want to cry. I tried contact Chelsea and ask her what was wrong. I was very concerned for her. Dial tone and Chelsea's specialty, Amber Mazzola. Chelsea Handler's a dirty fucking liar. But what most people don't know is she respects honesty and loyalty more than anything. That is, if it's on her terms, but she's okay with lying if it's for a joke, because for her, laughter trumps all. It's the most recent book, the alternate version, there was no laughter in it. It was so... It was like a low point of a depressed person's life, not a Chelsea Handler book. I wanted to cry. My friendship with Chelsea started 10 years ago when she was one of the stars of the hidden camera show Girls Behaving Badly. She would offer happy endings at car washes and shopping carts, yelling at passers-by, drink vodka and sodas at bars while wearing a pregnancy suit, and test out makeup artists for her newborn, to name a few stunts. I was the girl who jumped out of a cardboard box, camera in hand, in the middle of Ventura Boulevard, screaming, "You've just been pranked by Girls Behaving Badly. We're quite a pair." Back then, Chelsea was paid to lie. Now she does it as a hobby. Sarah is the pseudonym Chelsea gave me in her 3 books. The anonymity was a nice touch until she decided to blow my cover on Jay Leno when she referred to her friend Amber, who took off her shirt in the London restaurant Dining in the Dark. Immediately after, I got dozens of text messages from people hadn't heard from in years, people I wasn't interested in hearing from. That was you? Did you really take your top off at a restaurant? Everyone knows Chelsea's a liar, so I just talked it up to that. Oh, come on. Do you really think I would take my top off? Of course not. Chelsea's reputation comes in handy. Sometimes, very rarely, she lies for the right reasons, if that's at all possible. When I was going through a horrible breakup that would make most women crawl into a ball and never leave the house, Chelsea had a rough time. It's okay, Chelsea, I would say to console her, handing her tissue. Everything happens for a reason. Just litigation. A lawyer's named Colin, which Chelsea personally knows for. I know, but it just sucks, she would say in between crocodile tears. I know it does. This wasn't my breakup, but for some reason Chelsea was taking it way worse than I was. One night, at her aunt and uncle's house in Bel Air, drinking vodka, eating more than a pound of Costco-sized brie, the usual Sunday staple at the Burkses, a guy came over to pick up Chelsea. Chelsea got a little weird and tried to hurry the guy out of there, saying he was her accountant and she had to do her taxes. I didn't question the tax session with the hot guy on a Sunday evening in July. Why would I have? Who would lie about doing taxes? As soon as Chelsea left, her aunt informed me that the guy was a date, someone Chelsea had met on MySpace. Yes, MySpace. And didn't want to tell me about because she thought it would hurt my feelings, what with my breakup. Truth is, Chelsea needed this rebound to get over my ex more than I did. I had been encouraging her to start dating again for weeks. At 2 a.m., Chelsea came over to my dad's house. I had moved in with him after the breakup and crawled into bed with me to make sure I didn't spend the night alone or wake up alone. She was very persistent about this, and for months she had slept in my childhood room, in my canopy bed, draped in paper white linens with my glow-in-the-dark solar system overhead, and the Laura Ashley flower print border wrapped around the room. One morning I woke up to sunlight pouring in through my bedroom window, heating up the room like a sauna. Chelsea was lying above the sheets, buck naked except for her underwear. Her tank top, which had started the evening on her body, was tied around her eyes like a bandana to shield her from the light. I couldn't help but laugh. She looked ridiculous. Fuck off, it's 90 degrees in here. How can you sleep like this? Chelsea asked. I'm used to it. Well, you're gonna have to start sleeping at my place. My 75-year-old father is always freezing. In 90-degree weather, he sports a long-sleeve shirt and pants. There's no way he'd let me sleep with the air on. I tried it once. The minute he heard it, he shut it off immediately. That night, I started sleeping at Chelsea's apartment, which was a whole different experience. Air conditioning on full blast, curtains as dark as a hotel room in Vegas, and eye shades. Regardless, the company was nice, and Chelsea was right. Would have sucked to go to bed and wake up alone. While promoting her first book, My Horizontal Life, she flew from Los Angeles to Las Vegas to San Francisco, and then back to Los Angeles, all in one day, just to make sure I wasn't alone. I think what got me through the breakup was the fact that I had to be strong for Chelsea. This brief period may have been the only time in our friendship when Chelsea didn't fuck with me, but the moment she heard me talking about other boys and dating again, she was back at it. Let me explain something before you think I'm just another one of those gullible idiots duped by Chelsea. As an only child, I didn't grow up playing practical jokes on siblings. My biggest lies involved why I was late for curfew. I'm an amateur, Chelsea's a professional. And what makes her so good is not only her commitment to the lie, but a deadly combination of speed and creativity. When you're grilling her for the truth, she's already thought of the next answer before you even had the question. Plenty of times I'd smelled such an answer coming from a mile away and called her out for being full of shit. But there has been a time or two when I fell on prey on one of her lies. I was on the phone with my psychic one morning when Chelsea called on the other line. I didn't want to click over to her because I was getting good info on my love life, but Chelsea was relentless. She kept calling until I picked up. What's your game plan? She asked. I'm on the phone with Sydney. You're an asshole. Whatever. It's not like I can call her. Not every day. You have to stop taking advantage, Amber, she said. Chelsea and I have known Sydney for years. We have each driven over 60 miles outside of Los Angeles to see her for the sole purpose of pumping her for information about our lives, as if she weren't onto us. She knew exactly what we were doing, but I think she enjoyed our company as much as we enjoyed the brain-picking sessions. In fact, one day Chelsea even endured an hour-long lecture on birds from Sydney's boyfriend, who was a falconer, just to get a kernel of information from Sydney. Who's the asshole now? Sydney once told Chelsea she would have to have a talk show one day, way before she had one. Chelsea didn't believe her. Back then, she had no desire for a talk show, so regardless of how Chelsea likes to poke fun at my friendship with Sydney, she's still a true believer. See, if Sydney tells you that I hooked up with P. Diddy last night, Chelsea said, oh my gosh, did you really? Call me when you're done. Wait, are you really sleeping with P. Diddy? This is a recurring problem with Chelsea. You can't believe the word she says. She's like a girl who cried wolf. Hello? There was a dial tone. Chelsea's specialty. When she's done talking, she hangs up mid-sentence. This isn't reserved for phone conversations either. It is Chelsea's MO for all forms of contact. When she is done with whatever it may be, a party, a date with a guy, dinner with a friend, a phone call, she'll bored. She's not very good with goodbyes. I called Chelsea back to pump her for the P. Diddy info, but she wasn't biting. She just said, this is going to be an interesting ball. Then, clearly changing the subject, what are you and the person doing for New Year's? I don't know, I haven't thought about it. The person she was talking about was my fiance, Zoogie. She's never called him by name. I know you're probably thinking, Beyonce? Weren't you just breaking up with someone? I don't mess around. A bunch of us are going to the Bahamas for New Year's, Chelsea said. You guys should come. I've been all over the world with Chelsea, Australia, London, Mexico, Turks and Caicos. And the vacations have a lot in common. A beach, a boat ride, lots of Belvedere, late night dance parties, chicken fingers, and 4 a.m. They're really the perfect getaways. So I've always welcomed another Chelsea adventure. And at that point in my life, the Bahamas sounded great. I think I was more excited about this trip because it would be my first with Chelsea and Suzuki. And Chelsea was finally accepting that I was in a relationship with the Persian and not her brother Roy, whom she had been trying to set me up with since their mother's funeral. Literally at the funeral. In fact, Chelsea continued to try to hook me up with Roy while into my engagement and at my bachelorette party. Got a little awkward a couple of times. That might have been because I always did have a little crush on Roy. He's the sarcastic, witty, loyal male version of Chelsea. What's not to like? Bahamas prep began. I waxed all the hair off my body. I tried to wax Suki's back so Chelsea wouldn't take pictures of him and show them on national TV or Twitter, but no such luck. Ever since Zoogie had heard what a pansy my ex-fiancé was, he overexerted himself to be the polar opposite of him in every way. And this included the area of hair removal. After an 18-hour travel day, Zoogie and I finally arrived at the Cove to find the usual suspects in the usual position. Poolside with margaritas. Hi, Zoogie. Chelsea yelled, hi, Amber. We approached the pool, said hello to friends, and met a few newbies to the group. There was always a newbie or two. Chelsea's philosophy has always been the more the merrier. She was bored with us at times and likes to spice up vacations with fresh meat she can prey on. Zoogie meet Naveed, he's a fellow Persian like you. Chelsea said, phew, now it won't be Zoogie getting the brunt of all the Persian jokes. I thought it. And someone in our party with a hair back from Zoogie. I give Chelsea a lot of credit. 2 Persians on one vacation in one pool. She must have been feeling terrible. I do find it funny, though, that Chelsea would make such fun impressions when she dated him for quite a while. Jeez, Amber, put some fucking lotion on your feet, Chelsea said. Take it easy, I just got here. Before I knew it, she was out of the pool, grabbing her Bath & Body Works lotion and attacking my feet, rubbing lotion all over my toes, in my nail bed, on my legs. Lots of it. 2 coats. I'm not gonna lie, it felt good. Would you come all looped up if you knew you were gonna get a rub down every time Chelsea saw you? I'm no dummy. It's just dry skin. I've been traveling for hours. It's disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. Then she grabbed my hands and lathered them up as well. My dry skin is the one thing about me that drives Chelsea crazy. And the fact that I'm always late to everything. She's always early and waiting on me. Our first night in the Bahamas, we had sushi for dinner because why should we do anything different from what we do every night in Los Angeles? Everyone was pretty tired from traveling. Everyone but Chelsea, who tried to keep the party going. Zuri and I went to bed. We hadn't unpacked, which is what I like to do first when I arrive someplace new, and we had been awake for over 24 hours. Knowing Chelsea wouldn't take well to the "I'm tired" excuse, I decided to try her tactic, the Irish goodbye. I would feign interest just until I had enough. Then I would abruptly leave without telling anyone and without explaining myself to anyone. Seems simple enough. It worked like a charm for Chelsea. Once we finished dinner, we walked out to the casino, where Chelsea and the king wanted to play blackjack. Zoogie and I proceeded to the tables with everyone, and when we realized there was no room to sit at the blackjack table that Chelsea had chosen, we headed straight for the elevators. No one saw us. No one cared. It was a perfectly executed plan. Right when I put that key card in the door to our room, however, I had a text from Chelsea. "Where are you?" she asked. "In my room." I decided to try the honest approach first. Why? My feet hurt. Changing shoes. That's where my lie started. Right back down, she replied, "A seat opened up next to me." Okay. I didn't make a move. And then 20 minutes later, I got another text. "Are you down here?" Chelsea asked. I'm not sure what possessed me to pull at Chelsea, but my lie continued to escalate. "Yeah, I'm playing blackjack." "Where?" "On the other side of the casino." "Come to us." "I couldn't find you, and I found a lucky table." "Okay, we'll come to you." Shit, now what? Can't text. Pit boss just yelled at me. No response. I'm sure she knew I was full of shit when I decided to make the pit boss a part of my lie. What was I thinking? I don't pay attention if a flight attendant, a cop, or Oprah says no cell phone, so I'd never listen to a pit boss in the Bahamas. Chelsea knew this. Her silent treatment meant she knew I was still up in my room. "Oh, crap, Chelsea knows I'm lying," I said to Suki. "She doesn't care," Suki assured me. "Everyone else is there with her." So instead of going out, I did the one thing I wanted to do since I got to the Bahamas: unpack. Once my OCD was satiated and everything was neatly folded in drawers, I crawled under the fluffy comforter to go to bed. This is probably the only night I was gonna go to bed sober, so I plan to take full advantage. The next morning, I woke to my phone ringing. I figured Chelsea was calling to give me shit for ducking out early last night, or she wanted to work out. Neither sounded appealing. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Nothing, I just woke up." "The hotel is being evacuated. You have to pack up your stuff." "Oh, shit. Really? Why?" "There's a flood." "Where's it coming from?" "I don't know. I'm not a plumber. Don't you see water seeping through?" I looked around our room and up at the ceiling. No. "Well, you're lucky. It's all over my bathroom, and Roy's bedroom is flooded. The water ruined his phone." I looked out the window. People were caring about their business, and no one seemed in a hurry. People outside are going to the pool, though. "Amber, stop fucking around. The concierge says we have 26 minutes until we're swimming out of here. Get to the boat. I've got to finish packing." She yelled out, "Rico, you can take that one bag by the door." Click dial tone, and away she went. Shit. "So we need to pack everything back up. We're being evacuated." "Huh?" He looked out the window. "Why?" "There's a flood in the hotel." I took my suitcase feverishly began to stuff it with all my clothes and crap. This is so annoying. Since just 8 hours prior, I had unpacked everything so nice and neatly. Suki couldn't have cared less about packing anything but his iPad. We gathered our stuff and booked it out of the room. Because of my fear of taking an elevator in an emergency, we proceeded to the stairs. Thanks to Chelsea, we got in a penthouse, and now, thanks to Chelsea, we had to walk down 16 flights of stairs with our oversized luggage in tow. My bags clanked down each step, but there was no way I was going to lift 70 pounds. By the time we got to the bottom, we were soaked in sweat and out of breath. Unfortunately for us, we still had to get to the marina on the other side of the property. Outside, everything still looked calm, even though the hotel did seem more desolate than yesterday. I wonder where the water was coming from. When we got on the boat, everyone was talking about the flood. Most had actually seen water seeping through the ceiling of their rooms. I looked around as everyone was talking, and I noticed that Zuki and I were the only ones with luggage. Where's all your stuff? Asked Chelsea. It's being shipped. What about yours? Asked Ivory. Front desk has it. So what happens when the lobby floods? They'll ship it. Chelsea snapped. I noticed that Chelsea had her arm in a sling. What happened to you? I asked, pointing at her arm. I slipped. On water? It was that bad? Don't you ever listen? It was really bad in my room. I slipped and landed on my arm. The hotel nurse said it sprained. Chelsea walked off to the front of the boat, holding onto her arm. I felt bad for her. What a crappy way to spend our beach vacation. Where are we going to stay? I asked Ivory. Do we have another hotel? Chelsea's checking into it now. Just as I said that, Chelsea came back over with the captain in tow. Hey, the captain says we've exceeded the weight limit on the boat. You have to get rid of some things in your bags. You're joking, right? Chelsea looked up toward the captain for support. No, ma'am. I couldn't believe this. Were our clothes really going to make a difference with all the weight on the boat? Sounded like we needed to eliminate a person or two. But I didn't want to make a scene, so I quietly kneeled down and unzipped my first bag. Chelsea took my other suitcase and started to pull stuff out by the handful. My heart raced a little faster as I saw all my hard folding work go down the tubes. These have got to go, she said as she picked up a pair of flip-flops. What? They weigh nothing. Well, something's got to go. I was becoming increasingly agitated as I took more stuff out of my bag. Shoes, makeup, bathing suits, every charger known to man. There was a heaping pile growing higher and higher next to my suitcase. What the hell do I do with all this? When I turned around to look at Chelsea, she was laughing uncontrollably. She was bright red and could barely breathe. Throw it overboard, she said. Holding her clasps for dear life. I'm glad you think this is funny. I was so annoyed. I looked over at Ivory, who was also laughing. Was this all a big joke? No way. Are you guys fucking serious? Laughter started to erupt around the boat. Everyone was laughing at me, including the captain. You guys suck. I looked toward Hannah. You too? She nodded her head, laughing with the rest of them. I couldn't believe it. Zuki and I, the only ones. Told the side. The entire boat knew. Even the captain. And the person with the hairy bag and suitcase. It was just so embarrassing. How had I let it get this so far? Like I couldn't take a joke. I could. But I felt stupid and I hated feeling stupid. I silently refolded my clothes. Pissed. So, there I sat for the entire boat ride with two oversized pieces of luggage by my side. Anytime someone walked by, they smirked. Needless to say, Chelsea's arm was no longer in a sling. She snapped a picture of me flanked by the two large suitcases. Instantly, it was up on Twitter. I figured there was no getting out of that one. Just as I could help myself, I started to laugh as well. This That's a ridiculous situation. Plus, it's hard for me to stand mad at Chelsea. I'm the idiot who believed her. There's no time to be angry. Boat had anchored at a sandbar near Norman's Cay, and everyone was jumping off the boat and swimming in the crystal blue waters, having fun. I wanted in on that action. Good thing I had my suitcase and ample bathing suit options. When we got back to the hotel, which was not submerged underwater, we all went to the casino. I was not going to risk leaving early this time and be the asshole again. Going to a casino with Chelsea is a unique experience.